A very big shout out to Woke Gardiner. Thank you so much for all you do for Black community. And trust me, she nailed this particular one. Welcome to Naya Sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So this video, she was talking about how Kamala Harris is not going to be the only one to be like, dragged and all that. That Black women, Black people should absolutely get ready. And it looked like she actually made this video, I think she made some of the videos in June or July thereabout. And like we are in November and it has not been easy, you know. Now I am going to say this. The truth is that a majority of all these people really do not understand how politics work. They think it's something that they can say like, and it happens straight up. They think Kamala Harris has so much power that she can just make like, one statement and like things happens without like, taking the due procedures and all of that. And they still forget that Joe Biden is still their president. So she also made mention that Black people should just really be very ready because they will get dragged, and which they have been dragged left, center, and backward. And the fact that the people that are dragging them don't even know anything because they feel like, I mean, it is our right, or they are supposed to tell black people what to do and what not to do. And what is it that is causing this, problems and uproar so far? It is because they feel like they can control black people, but black people, I mean, the kind of people you can control. Let's get into this video.
Now, mind you, Black women, it won't be Kamala Harris who will be the only one under attack during these months. It'll be all of us. Be careful and be mindful of that. Sit your daughters down too and explain the gravity of the situation so that they will also be careful and mindful. This nation as a whole feels that Black women are supposed to be on the bottom. And we know the kind of attacks that we get in everyday life and from everyone. And so the thought of a Black woman having this kind of power scares a lot of people. It scares the cowards. It scares the hate mongers. It scares the ignorant. As you go out into the world these next few weeks, months, make sure that you do whatever you can do in order to protect your physical self. There are people who will attack you just because you look like her. You remind them of her. You are a representation of her simply because you are a Black woman. And because they can't hurt her, any Black woman will do. Make sure you replace that keychain mace. Make sure that blade in your bag is nice and sharp. Make sure all of your paperwork is up to date and current for your Pe0ple. And if you're not someone who always carries, just start making it a habit. During this time, we as Black women are going to have to be all the more diligent because unfortunately there are a lot of hateful, unhinged people out there, and they are becoming more and more emboldened by the day. And so we have to acknowledge that and pay that attention. It won't be Kamala Harris who will be the only one under attack during these months. Remember that video back in July when they announced that Kamala Harris would be the Democratic nominee instead of Biden? I warned Black women that we would be under attack and that we would be perceived as the threat during this election moving forward. That Black women will be used as the proxy to kind of for other members of other communities to take their anger out on Kamala Harris because they can't get at her. So it'll be us. We are going to be perceived as easy targets, soft targets, low-hanging fruit. It'll be us. And this came because I saw, this video was inspired by a video I saw Tabitha Speaks Politics do. I wanted to stitch her video, but it's no longer there. I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully she's appealing in an event that someone took it down. Probably some hateful person did that. I had my doubts whether or not Biden could win up against Trump. I did. And people say that this race between Harris and Trump is close. And my spirit tells me that it's not as close as we think that it is. I think she's got him. I think she's going to win. Now, here's the part where I am not trying to upset anyone. I am not trying to make people afraid. I'm not trying to create anxiety in people. I just want for people, especially black women, to be okay. Because we are what we are. We look like the threat. And the threat for them is VP Harris, who is soon to be the president of the United States. And that anger will be taken out on us. And when they see us alone, they will see us as soft targets. And it is very important that you be aware, like I said in that video back in July, when I told you that this was going to happen, it is happening. Tabitha Speaks Politics did a video. It's been taken down. I can't find the video. I actually wanted to stitch that one where she talked about in Georgia law enforcement is being warned that MAGA, that KKK members, white supremacists, are going to be attacking black people, and that they are out of North Carolina, Lexington, North Carolina. I don't want to speak over her. I don't. Y'all know I love Tabitha. But I just want to make it be clear that it's everywhere. It's especially that cluster of southern states from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, which is where I'm in South Carolina. She's underneath me in Georgia. Then under Georgia, you know, if you swing a little bit to, depending on where you're looking on the map, so we'll say to the right, you got Texas. And then right down there, you got Florida. Those states, especially, these white people are on something different. They have hate in common. And I'm not saying that it's not, that you don't have to watch your backs in the blue states. You do. Because we all know, I'm from Michigan originally. We know what they tried to do to Big Gretch. They are everywhere. The only difference in those blue states is that clearly you have more progressive people than you do regressive people. In the southern states, especially in this cluster that I just named, we have much more regressive people in these states. I'm going to keep it a buck. These people are not as progressive. They are not as intellectual. They are not as progressive in their thought process, in their ideologies. They're still holding on to a lot of that hate. A couple of days ago, I made a video where I said, I may look like the one, but I'm not the one. What inspired that video is that I went out, this happened on Halloween. My husband and I have this tradition where we go get us a piece of pie on Halloween. We get us a couple drinks and we watch scary movies. You can every day pretty much find me in a Captain. The only time I put on street clothes is when I absolutely positively have to. Because I don't go nowhere. I'm retired. I don't go anywhere. Literally, I don't go anywhere unless I have to. So for someone like me to have 2 incidents within that same day, they are amping up. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because it's facts. I don't go nowhere. And I got tried twice on the same day. Do not let your young black daughters walk around alone. Don't. Do not let your young black sons walk around alone. Don't. Don't let your mamas walk around alone. Your sisters. Okay? You as a black woman, don't walk around alone. Don't go out after dark. This is real serious because these people are not well. And my spirit, immediately when I heard that Harris, y'all saw that was right behind when they announced that she was going to be the nominee. I did that video because my spirit, something triggered and I knew. I still feel it. A tick, 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 tick. We're good. She's going to win this election. It's not as close as we think it is. And when she do, I think we're going to be met with violence in this nation. And I think that they're going to make January 6th look like a walk in the park. And again, I don't say that to scare you. I say that so that you can get ready, set, go. So that you can stand on business. so that it's not a surprise, so that you are watching your surroundings, so that you're not doing, making moves that you don't necessarily have to during this transitional phase. Half of this nation is not well. They are not okay. They have been indoctrinated into a cult. The cult has become radicalized. When they say take their country back, I think about the bombings of Philadelphia. I think about the Detroit riots. Look at what they did during Black Lives Matter marches. They destroyed buildings, set buildings on fire, and said it was black people who did it. These people, when they lose this election, they are not going to handle that well. They're not. They stormed this nation's capital when one of the two white men running didn't win. This is a black woman. What y'all think they gonna do behind a black woman winning the presidency? They didn't have leadership when Obama won. They got leadership now, representation, hateful representation. Trump is not well, and he will tell them to retaliate. He not okay. And he's made them not okay. And that party is not okay. They are not well. If you got vacation time, take it. If you got any way to take off of work, take it. If you don't have to go in the next day on the 6th, don't go. If your kids go to a predominantly white institution, school, you might want to rethink that some kind of way. Some way. I don't know what to say to you about that, but I worry because their kids have been indoctrinated too, and they are hateful too, and they too will be looking for targets. And if your black child goes to a white school, your child will be it. From the elementary schools to the college campuses. These people are showing up at polling places with machetes, for Pete's sake. The governors in these red states pretty much said anybody can have a gun. Ain't no rules now. They thrown out they out the window. Any nut job can have one. And every nut job got one. Or a bunch. A room full of them. Watch your back. Watch your back.
Black women, hear me very clearly, because I'm going to need you to prepare yourself for the biggest level of misogyny you have ever witnessed in your lifetime. That misogyny and racism, it's going to be something you have never witnessed or experienced in your life. And we're going to have to prepare for that. As sad as that is as a reality, it is reality. So what I'm going to need y'all to do is to protect your peace, protect your mental health. And by that, I mean doing the following. Block out all that noise. And I mean quite literally block it out. Curate your social media feeds to block that out. Unfollow people who are not good for your mental health. Log off social media. Even watch your news consumption. Whether she wins or loses, that increased level of misogyny is still going to happen. Protect yourself, protect your mental health, protect your peace.
Good afternoon, everyone. Or should I say good morning? So listen, one thing about me is that when I see that there is a problem in my community, I try to do my part to address it and help fix it. Because I feel like it's my responsibility to my community to, be a part of the solution and not just complain about the issue. And in seeing so many younger black people who are actively choosing not to vote and or are voting for Donald Trump, I started to think about what it was I could do to help mitigate that damage, that harm, to get more black people to vote, young black people to vote, encourage them to do so, and to encourage them to not vote against themselves. And there's nothing that a single person can do, but what I have decided to do for my own loved ones is I've decided to create an archive. And one of the reasons why I decided to create this archive is because I know that these moments in history where there is so much divisiveness, so much hate, so many people who are actively choosing to vote for a lying, grifting, xenophobic, misogynist, rapist, they will, at some point down the line, do revisionist history, as they always do. The books and articles that were written about these moments in time and history will be whitewashed. And so what can I do about helping my community understand these truthful moments that we are now living? And I decided to collect, because now we're living in a time, what was different from other previous moments in history is that not everyone had a camera in their hands. And so now this time in history is being filmed. And so I'm gathering all the footage of all the people who will not be able to deny their behavior that is playing out in 4K. I am collecting all of the hateful things that they send me in messages, even if it doesn't have a profile picture, because technology, we don't know where it'll be, 30 years from now. Maybe people who once unalived other people in history didn't know that DNA would be a thing one day. So digital footprints, I imagine that technology will change, as some of us evolve, and technology as well. And so these people will be a lot more easy to identify, even if they are hiding. And not only have I decided to do that with the Republican Party and the MAGAs and the Trumpers, I've also decided to do this with all of the other members of marginalized communities who attempted to gaslight black people into voting against our own best interests. I think that it's very important that we share these moments that will become history with our descendants. They should have access to the truth in the form of family archives left by those of us who are living these moments now. That's something that our ancestors couldn't do. And we have very few of their words that they left behind, that were not destroyed or burned or damaged in some other kind of a way. We just are not able to access them. This will be kind of a family community archive, and as time goes by, I will be expanding upon it. So all of the things that we see on TikTok where black women have been attacked at polling places, these young men have gone around with machetes, all of the things that people have said, comments, I will be collecting all of that so that I will be laying the foundation for the truth, for real evidence that they can see and listen to and read. And if you are that black person in your family that cares about your grandkids and your great-grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, your descendants, I encourage you to do the same. I hope this inspires someone else to do the same, that we utilize technology, the cloud, so that we can store that information for them, so that people who have, who one day undoubtedly will not, just like the people who They will not want their history told. They will not want their faces seen. They will not want their words read. They will not want their pictures on the internet with hanging next to black bodies. They run from that. But those are the same people, same kinds of people who did those things. These are their descendants who share the same ideologies, the same core values, the same belief systems. But now we have the power to pass this information down throughout the generations. And we can store it in our own personal clouds, our own family archives, where they can't corrupt them, they can't play revisionist history. It's there.
So this is all I got from this video, and a very big shout out to What Gardner. All if you're not following her, make sure you follow her because she does great content. She did not lie. All the things she said already has been happening, right? The reality is that when they announced that Kamala Harris will be the running for a presidential aspirant because Joe Biden dropped, right? It was just not going to be only Kamala Harris that they were. At some point, the whole thing escalated, right? From Kamala Harris, they also transferred aggression. But I am just going to keep asking this. Why is it that a majority of them left the questions that they were supposed to be asking their president and that they're asking Kamala Harris the questions, and at the same time making it look like, black people or black people, we're also part of what is going on the G side that is going on in some places and all of that. You all already know that Black people played a very vital role during uh, their protests and all that. I mean, like they were really very active on social media, TikTok, all over, and some are still very super active. And shout out to them, right? But I still like, to them, they feel like black people did put themselves first before any other, like, they are supposed to come first. Why? Because they feel like black people, they said that black people have freedom. And I am still looking for the freedom. And if there is anywhere they are selling that freedom, they said that, black people have, let us know. We will be able to purchase it, so we can actually utilize it in full, right? So eventually, it became like a thing or a talk that lasted for so long, right? But I am glad that it's almost coming to an end, and I really do look forward to great results from the election. And the best I can also say is that please make sure that you have your own back. Make sure you know where your kids are. Make sure you know where your family are. Make sure that make sure you also educate the younger ones because this period it's really like I don't know how to say, but it's kind of not like super safe because you all already heard what they said. If it didn't go well in their own opinion, in their own way, there will be bloodshed and all that. Which I pray nothing like that happens. But still, make sure you all are safe. Make sure you educate the younger ones, and please make sure you know where the kids are at every point in time, and all that. Your siblings, the younger ones, and the rest of it, right? And I really do not want to talk much about this because, like, a majority of the things she has said is self-explanatory, and it's something that we've been hitting on for a longer time. And the truth is that nobody want black people to be free. They will tell you that they are in for you, they support you, but I am not sure they are. They are not supporting you. They are not in for you, right? They do not want you to be free. They do not want you to have that freedom because they feel like, man, if they have that freedom, how are we supposed, or who are we supposed to oppress, or who are we supposed to, like, who are supposed to be the minority and who is supposed to be, or who are supposed to be the majority? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So some people will sit down on anything that will make Black people excel. Also, there is a video where I brought where somebody was asking, I mean, was asking, like, ooh, that if the other person wins, like Kamala Harris wins, it means Black men will be way, way better off than them. Like, Black people will have, like, Black people will be controlling things, and they will make life easier for them. And also that they do not have any policy for them. That alone is something you should know. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.